Hear this as if it were meant only for you. Not a slogan, not a caption, an invitation. Open your heart now. There is no delay in this message because delay is where doubt breeds. You know there's been pushback lately, the quiet pressure against what is good in you, against the life that keeps trying to rise. That resistance isn't proof you're failing. It's proof there's something worth resisting. So pause. Breathe. Let yourself be fully present for one honest minute. If you've been scrolling numb or rushing past your own soul, this is your interruption. You are addressed as beloved because that is your truest name. Your worth isn't up for a vote. It's already settled. Start here. I'm listening. Let that be the first door you open because every other door you need will swing on the same hinge, willingness. The trap of the false connection. What hunts your peace isn't always loud. It often smiles. It looks like belonging that asks you to dim down a few what's to stay. It looks like attention that feels warm but leaves you hollow. That's the false connection. Flattering on the surface, subtracting at the core. It targets you precisely because there's breath of life in you. Dignity, purpose, radiance. Its aim is simple, be less than you are. If you close your heart now to what is true, you'll still function, but guidance will sound distant, like a radio underwater. Don't trade clarity for company. If a room requires you to shrink to fit, it is not your room. Keep your center open to what is good, and refuse the bargain where acceptance costs your light. Real love never demands that you go dim to be seen. The lie about who you are. The most common ambush comes at rest, when the house is quiet and your defenses fade. That's when falsehood tries to rehearse itself in your mind. You're not enough. You're too much. You're late. You're lost. None of it is true, but repetition can masquerade as truth. Hear me. Your light doesn't confuse the one who gave it. It unsettles the shadows that can't produce it. Identity is not a mood. It's a gift. Your worth isn't a project to assemble. It's a reality to remember. Tonight, notice what stories cue up when you're tired. If they demand you distrust your own goodness, they're not for you. Refuse the script. Return to the sentence that steadies everything. I was made to carry light. Let that line take root, because whatever you rehearse at night is what you'll perform by day. Ancient light, ordinary probes. Your inner light didn't start last year. It precedes your timelines, resumes, and failures. That's why it draws attention. Promise always does. Don't be surprised when the testing arrives through ordinary things, a casual comment that keeps echoing, a harmless habit that slowly numbs, a convenience that costs you clarity. None of it looks dramatic, but all of it studies your interior. Ask better questions of the small stuff. Does this lift my gaze or lower it? Does this make me truer or thinner? The subtle scan isn't after your schedule, it's after your center. Remember, not everything simple is safe, and not everything demanding is dangerous. The key is direction. The smallest practice, honesty with yourself, gratitude before sleep, one sincere breath of prayer, can tilt a day, a week, a life. Ancient light answers ordinary faithfulness. The pull away from the core. The goal isn't to bruise your body, it's to court your soul into a closeness that counterfeits the real thing. It says, just relax your guard, and then quietly rewrite your loyalties. Protection is available, closer than your pulse, but it requires your attention. Fear isn't the lesson, understanding is. So name what's happening. There's a draw away from what keeps you bright, nuanced as kindness, but aimed at your center. Counter it by practicing presence. Put your hand on your heart and say, I keep what is holy in me. That sentence doesn't isolate you, it integrates you. It reminds your thoughts to serve your spirit, not sabotage it. You're not fragile glass, you're tempered. Let that awareness turn down the static and bring up the signal of what's clean, true, and strengthening. Your choice, your shield. You were not designed for defeat. That isn't motivational talk, it's architecture. The reach of harm is limited unless you endorse it by turning away from a voice that steadies you. Tonight, choose to listen. That choice is a shield. It doesn't remove every storm, but it changes what the storm can touch. Before sleep, speak this out, even as a whisper. Guard my rest. Guard my mind. Let that consent rise like a porch light in the dark. If you refuse it, your spirit may wander into rooms that dim your brightness. But if you say yes, however quietly, the night becomes a sanctuary again. Agency is sacred. Use it. You don't need elaborate rituals to be protected. You need willingness. One honest yes can relocate an entire night from anxiety to custody. Hidden schemes, family fractures. Sometimes the unrest you feel isn't just circumstantial, it's strategic. The oldest opposition dislikes the purity you've preserved, so it aims at the places you're most open. Fatigue, shame dressed as comfort, dreams that blur your guard. And there's this. Vulnerabilities can travel through family lines. A choice made before you was a door left ajar. That doesn't doom you, it informs you. You are the hinge generation, the one who can close what others couldn't. Notice how the pull arrives, through sleep, through alluring shortcuts, through memories that invite you to rehearse regret. Name it. This is not care, this is capture. Then ask, what would closing the door look like in practice? Maybe it's an apology. Maybe it's a boundary. Maybe it's ending the habit that keeps choosing you. Either way, the closure begins with consent. Reading the signs, owning the crossroads. You are at a split in the road. Continue the drift or end the drift. The body often announces the soul's weather, an unexplained chill, fractured sleep, flashes of self-disgust. Treat them as indicators, not indictments. They say, pay attention. The strategy against you isn't brute force, it's patience. It waits for your guard to lower, for you to say, I'm just tired, and let the small compromise pass. But notice something else. Opposition fears you're becoming more than your history. The anxiety you feel around big decisions can be a proof of magnitude, not a sign you're unqualified. Stand tall. Ask the oldest, clearest question. What choice keeps me bright? Then take it. Crossroads become holy when you choose in the direction of truth, even with shaky hands. The simple breakthrough. Complicated battles don't always require complicated weapons. A single, sincere turn of the heart can snap the quiet net forming around you. Think of it like this. The light you choose expands to the size of your consent. Choose the light, not the counterfeit acceptance that demands you betray yourself. Tonight, guard the threshold, your thoughts before sleep. Don't tuck yourself in with noise that undoes you. Breathe. Speak gratitude for 3 small mercies. Ask for a kept mind. The veil between seen and unseen feels thin lately. Treat that as opportunity, not threat. Thresholds are where destinies pivot. Let yours pivot toward what purifies your attention and calms your nervous system with truth. Soft prayers count. Honest refusals count. A gentle yes can carry the weight of 1,000 defenses. Surrender as the door. Here's the sober reality. If you turn aside now, clarity will fade and your guard will thin. But thin is not gone. It can be rebuilt. The door is surrender, not the collapse of self, but the alignment of self. Come in, you say to what is good. That welcome reorders the room. Be alert to the current tactic. Invitations that look wholesome, sound wise, and yet bend you away from your center. Test them. Do they require you to trade integrity for relief? Do they ask you to ignore the quiet check in your spirit? If yes, step back. Surrender isn't passivity, it's precision. It's choosing the voice that knows you over the voice that flatters you. Open your heart on purpose. Close your door on pretense. This is how protection grows ribs again, choice by choice. Reading the unseen. If you felt a strange chill, a sudden hush in the room, a flicker of meaning in an ordinary moment, don't dismiss it. Not every signal travels through words. Sometimes care arrives as atmosphere, the way time briefly slows, the way a thought lands with weight, the way you sense you're being watched over. Treat these as gentle notifications that the unseen is, in fact, paying attention. You're not being haunted, you're being helped. Consider how a parent steps closer when a child nears a ledge. That nearness feels different, and it should. When you notice the odd, ask a simple question: what are you showing me to keep me safe? Let or replace anxiety. The world behind the world has always been active, and its benevolence is not random. Is preparation, not paranoia, care arriving early. Strength that waits on your yes. There is a presence that doesn't come from the light, and it prefers doorways like fatigue, loneliness, and sleep. It doesn't kick down entrances, it courts them. Here is the counterweight, your consent. Strength is available, but it honors your will. Whisper it if you must: I choose the true and the clean. That line closes what curiosity left ajar. Don't underestimate your agency. It is sacred ground. Your wounds and long nights haven't gone unseen. Every ache that tried to convince you you're unprotected has been counted and answered. Tonight, before your head meets the pillow, make your room a sanctuary by intention. Your choice is a key in a lock. Turn it, and what meant to slip in finds it has nowhere to live. This is how rest becomes guarded, and guarded rest becomes healing. When comfort isn't clean, beware the peace that asks you to trade your purity to keep it. It offers belonging without boundaries, care without clarity, closeness without truth. It sounds merciful and feels easy, but the bill comes due in distance from yourself, from God, from what's real. Ask of every invitation, does this make me more whole or more hidden? A counterfeit peace numbs, a holy peace wakes. One lulls you into forgetting what matters, the other sharpens your sight. If a community requires your conscience to go quiet, it's not community, it's captivity. You don't have to be harsh to be holy, you have to be honest. Choose the solace that doesn't stain you, the embrace that doesn't erase you. Stand in the kind of peace that holds your gaze steady and your spine kind. That's the peace that lasts. The name that calls you up. Some of you remember it, a moment when your name felt heavier, fuller, almost musical. That wasn't sentimentality, it was summons. When heaven speaks your name, it doesn't just identify you, it awakens you. The core you've kept quiet, convictions, gifts, that stubborn compassion, needs permission to stand. Give it. Say, rise. Shadows don't negotiate with theories. They yield to presence. And your presence, when aligned, is not ordinary. Think of how a tuning fork makes a room hum. The right note clarifies everything. Your truest name is that note. Let it sound again. Open the drawer where you've stored your bolder self. Hold it to the light. This isn't about performance. It's about alignment. The world doesn't need your impression of someone else. It needs the frequency you were born to carry, clear, clean, and unafraid. Guarding the holy middle. At the center of you is a room where fear cannot live. Guard it. Your defenses have thinned, not failed. That's a reparable state. And time matters right now. Some moments weigh more than others. This is one of them. A light breeze at the window, an unusual stillness before a word lands. Treat these as set pieces placed to get your attention. You're being invited to help more than yourself. Your yes today loosens chains on a life you might never meet. Ask, what boundary rebuilds my strength fastest? Maybe it's turning off the noise an hour earlier, or telling the truth you've delayed. Either way, choose it while the door is open. Sacred windows don't stay ajar forever. Protect the middle, and the edges of your life will stop fraying. Start from the center outward, marked and studied, yet unassailable. Darkness is not creative, but it is observant. It has taken notes, where you live, what you long for, where you're thin. It doesn't want your calendar, it wants your confidence. If it can sever your sense of nearness to God, it wins cheaply. So counter with clarity. Name what's true out loud. I am not abandoned. I am seen and kept. This isn't bravado, it's calibration. The aim against you is intimacy, an intrusive nearness that displaces presence with pressure. Refuse the swap. When you feel watched, remember who watches first for you. When you feel singled out, recall that calling also singles you out. Being marked by heaven makes you visible to hell, yes, but visibility is not vulnerability. Consent is the variable. Keep yours aligned, and the study yields no entrance. When familiar faces become vectors, sometimes suggestion arrives wearing the face you love. A comment from family, a nudge from an old friend, a harmless plan that feels off. The sequence is predictable. Quiet hint, gradual drift, practice temptation. Then habits move without asking you anymore. Don't resent the people, recognize the pattern. Your spiritual inheritance isn't canceled by these tactics. It waits intact for a bolder you. There is a fresh assignment bound to your bloodline, and it needs a keeper. Consider this your commissioning. Bless those who misunderstand you. Set boundaries where charm once blinded you. Choose clarity over closeness when closeness costs the truth. The point isn't isolation, it's orientation. Love them well without letting them steer. The inheritance you guard will become the inheritance they need once you stand in it without apology. Consent, keys, and quiet breakthroughs. Protection is not a mood swing from heaven. It's a covenant that respects your yes. Offer it sincerely. Reverence is the posture, not theatrics. Also, be wise. Sometimes lures are literal. Objects placed, habits planted, reminders positioned to draw you back into old rooms. Name them, relocate them, remove them. Tonight, before sleep, speak even a few gentle words toward God. That whisper isn't small, it's legal language in the unseen. Ties snap under honest consent. Give this hour its due weight. Some minutes are worth months. Focus, not fear, is your task. Your attention is an altar. What you place there becomes powerful. Place your yes. Place your refusal of pretense. Let the room learn your decision and bear witness. You'll wake different. Not dramatic, just decisively unhooked. When your yes becomes communal light, your response never stays private. Light multiplies by agreement. When you choose truth, it doesn't just steady your own soul, it brightens the path for someone hidden 2 turns behind you. The veil feels thin. Good. Treat this as a handoff zone. What you receive, you will soon carry to others. Understand why opposition hovers. You didn't just borrow light, you bear it from before time. That ancestry of radiance makes you both target and torch. Don't dramatize it, dignify it. Live awake to the boundary places, morning and night, thresholds and transitions. Pray short, clean prayers at the crossings. Hold your peace like a lantern. The point isn't spectacle, it's transfer. Love will find another soul through your steadiness, and darkness knows it. That's why it shakes when you simply remain. A clear declaration against subtle drift. The tactic now is subtle. Respectable invitations, wise-sounding shortcuts, relief that asks you to betray your witness. Question every offer that requires you to doubt your value to take it. Your life is not a loophole to be exploited. It's a testimony to be guarded. So declare it. I stir what's holy in me. I refuse the trade. Say it with your choices. Cancel the meeting that muddies you. Decline the joke that corrodes you. Pick the practice that polishes you. This isn't moralism, it's maintenance of identity. What's at stake isn't just your behavior, but your story, the way your ordinary days prove a faithful God in real time. Let your no be clean and your yes be warm. You are not fragile evidence, you are living proof. Stand like it. The downward sequence. The slow pull rarely starts in your calendar, it starts in your head. A thought poses as practicality. You're tired. This doesn't matter. Skip what keeps you steady. Leave it unchallenged and it seeps into the body. Heavy limbs, shallow breath, the ache that feels like just stress. Give it another day and it steps into your relationships. Shorter patience, dimmer presence, a low-grade cynicism that edits how you love. This is how brightness erodes, not with a crash, but with a drift. So intervene at the first step. Ask, is this thought true, good, and mine? If not, escort out. Take one physical action that contradicts the spiral, a walk, water, prayer out loud. Then give someone your undivided attention for 5 minutes. Reversals are built this way. Mind clarified, body recentered, bonds rewarmed. Choose the holy way. Do not turn back. Freedom isn't a personality trait, it's a practiced route. Choose the road that keeps your inner windows clean. You already know the fork, the habit that made you dull versus the habit that makes you bright. Don't return to what cost you clarity. When nostalgia argues, remember the invoice, how much peace it drained, how much self-respect it taxed. You were designed for sacred nearness, to recognize a voice that steadies you in crowded rooms and quiet kitchens. Ask yourself tonight, what does freedom require within the next hour? Maybe it's turning off the numbing scroll, lighting a small candle, and speaking your trust. Maybe it's texting, I'm choosing different now. Choose in real time. Every no to what once dimmed you is a yes to who you truly are, and freedom compounds with use. The power of a quiet yes. There is a grace that waits on the hinge of your will. One genuine yes, and weight starts lifting like mist and sun. Purpose doesn't arrive with fireworks. It settles like certainty. I'm meant to walk clean and awake. Understand, the bond between your life and God isn't fragile thread. Only your own will can cut it, and you won't. A path appears between the brambles, not paved, but evident. Step into it with small obedience. Replace the vague, guilty promises with a concrete practice. A minute of gratitude before sleep. A truth spoken when you'd usually deflect. A boundary honored without apology. Notice how your breath deepens. Notice how the room feels held. That's not sentiment, that's alignment. The yes you give tonight doesn't end the storm. It changes what the storm can touch. Remember who you are. Shadows recede. Identity is an anchor, not a slogan. When you recall your real name, beloved kept called, shadows lose leverage. They bargain by shrinking your worth. You're not that special. Tone it down. Settle. Don't negotiate. The more you agree with smallness, the more doors it finds. So practice remembrance on purpose. Write 3 sentences about who you are in God's eyes and read them aloud when doubt taps the last. Hold your shoulders like someone entrusted, not tolerated. Say no to self-minimizing humor that trains your soul to believe you're less. Ask, what would a person who knows they're chosen do first thing this morning? Then do that. Make the bed, bless your home, send the apology, open the book. Light is not louder than dark, it's truer. And truth quietly moves shadows out to the edges. Listening already loosens the grip. You've noticed it, even hearing what is true changes the air. Chains slip a notch when you give attention to the right voice. But listening isn't the finish line, it's the runway. Act next. Do one brave thing that signals I'm aligned now. Open the window and bless your space. Walk the hallway and speak. Purpose is greater than pressure. If you feel a gentle coolness or a clean brightness, don't spook, receive it. That too is care. And when old noise knocks, accusation, dread, the familiar heaviness, answer with your feet. Move toward what matters. Tidy a corner. Encourage a friend. Pray short and honest. The home that hears truth and then does truth becomes hard soil for darkness to seed. This is how households change. Attentive ears, courageous minutes, repeated until the place feels new. Your lineage is promise. From your first breath, your presence unnerved the dark, not because you were loud, but because you were luminous. You've stumbled, yes, but love keeps calling with a vow stronger than your stumbles. That vow doesn't expire when you're discouraged. It gets louder. Hear it. The darkness will not win while you keep walking. Your story lives inside a larger promise, a covenant older than your fear and younger than your next yes. When shame whispers that you've disqualified yourself, check the signature on your life. It isn't yours alone. You carry an assignment that upgrades your family line. Picture children you'll never meet breathing easier because you chose faithfulness now. Let that widen your chest. Keep going, not for performance, but for promise. The inheritance you secure becomes shelter for those who follow, breaking the invisible ropes. Labels that never belong to you, too much, not enough, inconvenient, forgettable, can cinch like wire. Add the quiet chords of appetite, uncertainty, confusion, laziness, and fear, and movement feels costly. Start snipping. Rename yourself in the language of calling, appointed, marked, entrusted. Replace vague cravings with clean rhythms. Water first, word next, work then. Uncertainty shrinks when you choose one clear action. Confusion thins when you write what is true in ink. Laziness loosens when you start for 2 minutes, just 2. Fear retreats when you speak out loud, I am kept. Pay attention to the subtle sensations, the warm weight on your chest, the cool clarity near your brow. Treat them as prompts. Stay with the light. You are not negotiating for dignity, you are enforcing it. Ropes fall where names are corrected. Night watch and the last attempt. Yes, they tried your dreams, whispers at the edge of sleep, stories that left you heavy. Your quiet call set a boundary, but lines fade if we stop painting them. Tonight, repaint. Say before bed, only the holy has access here. Expect resistance, especially a final pass from patterns tied to family history. Don't fear it, name it and close it. Refuse silence that masquerades as peace. Speak simple truth, even if only to the dark room. I belong to the light. If you wake at 3 a.m., treat it as invitation, not doom. Breathe, bless, go back to rest. Dawn doesn't ask for dramatics, it asks for decision. Let your night become agreement with goodness, not an arena for dread. What returns to test you'll find a house already aligned, and leave empty-handed. A shield made of daily choices. Protection isn't a fog that descends, it's a frame you build, choice by choice. Decline inputs that sand your conscience. Turn from words that twist truth into convenience. Keep what's wholly unmixed, no cynicism folded into compassion, no flattery sewn into friendship, no shortcuts glued onto purpose. Ask, what strengthens my guard in the next 10 minutes? Maybe it's deleting the app that keeps dulling you. Maybe it's telling the full truth where you'd usually edit. Maybe it's silence so you can hear again. Understand, God's covering doesn't infantilize you. It dignifies you to participate. He protects the why inside you, the sacred reason. Walk like someone entrusted with a mission, not someone sneaking contraband. The self who knows who they are doesn't wander. They move with the center. Build your shield accordingly, crossing the line and getting back what was taken. Something subtle shifted. You step past an unseen border. Now the deeper contest begins, not to scare you, but to promote you. Expect recovery. What was stolen returns in surprising ways. Timing redeemed, relationships healed or replaced, gifts you thought were gone waking like muscles after sleep. Your words will start changing rooms because alignment amplifies presence. Where you stand, heaviness will reconsider. Where you reach, the hurting will feel held. None of this makes you a spectacle. It makes you responsible. Stay low and bright. Keep your interior clean so your influence stays clean. And when the old ache paces the threshold, smile without opening the door. You are not who you were on the other side of that line. Carry the news quietly. I crossed. I'm kept. I'm here to help. Vigilant to the last distraction. You are a dwelling for the holy, which means curation matters. In this hour, expect a final nudge toward the easy and the endless. Harmless entertainment that steals presence. Busyness disguised as importance. A sugar rush of relief that dulls discernment. Name it what it is, a last attempt to keep you inattentive. Practice sacred refusal. Put your phone face down, breathe slowly, and say, only what is clean gets in. Let your attention become hospitality for truth. Watch how the room steadies when you decide what your mind may host. Distraction is not neutral. It reroutes devotion by 1,000 tiny turns. Counter with one deliberate choice. Read a paragraph of wisdom, bless your home aloud, or sit in silence long enough to hear your own soul again. The gate you guard now determines the garden you'll grow next. Your true name and the power of surrender. When you finally answer to your true name, doors you didn't knock on begin to open. But the handle is surrender, not spectacle. Yielding doesn't erase you, it aligns you. Say, I release my grip on outcomes. I hold fast to what is holy. Feel how that loosens fear's fingers. Darkness has stretched your testing because it knows your influence multiplies once you're rightly named. Let your identity be a bell rung in daylight. Steady, clear, unashamed. You don't need louder volume. You need truer resonance. Surrender turns your life into an instrument that stays in tune under pressure. Try it now. Place one stubborn worry on the altar and leave it there for 24 hours. Watch how your inner weather changes. Surrender is not weakness. It's authority borrowed from love, exercised through trust. Accessing identity through interior alignment. The entry point to who you really are is inside, where desire and obedience meet. When your core says a sincere yes to God's intent, atmosphere shifts. Thoughts unknot, the air feels lighter, and the prayer you whispered months ago begins to bear quiet fruit. Write this down. Alignment precedes assignment. Don't chase platforms. Tend to posture. Ask, where does my interior still argue with what I know is right? Bring that place into agreement sentence by sentence. Practice micro-integrity. Keep the promise you made to yourself this morning. Tell the precise truth. Complete a small task you typically postpone. Watch confusion lift like fog once the sun clears the hill. Heaven keeps receipts. No hidden cry is lost. What begins as a private yes becomes public clarity, first in your face, then in your footsteps. Self-regard that births compassion. Knowing your worth isn't arrogance, it's accuracy. Treat yourself as someone God treasures, and you'll naturally treat others as treasures too. Your hardships were a school you didn't choose, but from which you can graduate fluent in mercy. Let what hurt you become what softens you. Patience grows when you remember your own weighty days. Gentleness grows when you recall your own frayed edges. Begin with simple, embodied care. Drink water, take a walk. Bless your body for carrying you this far. Then extend that same sanity outward. Listen without fixing. Honor boundaries without bitterness. Prefer truth over approval. Compassion isn't sentimental, it's sturdy. It holds people without holding them back. Ask, how can my healed places hold space for someone else's healing? Love answers by making you both shelter and signpost, safe, clear, and kind. Gifts without sorrow, peace that stays. Not every gift is good. Some arrive wrapped in hurry and leave you emptier. God's gifts carry no sorrow. They don't mortgage your conscience or hijack your attention. They deepen both. Expect blessings that fit your soul, relationships marked by mutual care, work that aligns with purpose, provision that quiets scrambling. Peace here isn't anesthesia, it's integration, a life where your values, words, and rhythms match. Ask, does this gift require me to dim or to deepen? Keep only what deepens. Let contentment teach you how to enjoy without clutching, to receive without boasting, to share without fear of lack. Where the true giver is honored, gifts aren't idols, they're instruments. And you, tuned by trust, will play them well. Gratitude in your chest, clarity in your mind, a gentleness that lingers after you've left the room. Gratitude before sight, grace that frees. Thankfulness is faith spoken in advance. Say grace over the table while it's still being said. Whisper, thank you for what I cannot see yet, and watch how worry loses volume. Remember the verdict already rendered, justified, forgiven, remembered no more. You are not on probation with God. Stand up inside that acquittal. When old failures re-argue their case, submit the stamped dismissal, paid, pardoned, past. Restoration doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's simply the return of appetite for good things, the desire to learn to pray, to laugh unguarded. Let gratitude be your breathing pattern. Inhale nearness, exhale doubt. Build a short liturgy for hard days. 3 thanks, 1 truth, 1 request. Grace makes room where shame tightens. Walk there. Freedom is a house with windows open. Let mercy air out every room. Rest beside love. Receive your assignment. There's a bench with your name on it. No speech is required. Sit. Let yourself be known without performing. In that stillness, discernment sharpens. You begin to see people as stories, not problems. You'll find phrases arriving that lift others exactly where they sag, not because you're clever, but because you're connected. Your life becomes translation, turning the language of heaven into words ordinary hearts can carry. Ask, who needs gentle courage today? Then offer it without fanfare. Purpose often hides inside small obediences done consistently. Don't despise your post, the workplace desk, the kitchen table, the hospital lobby. Each can be an altar where hope changes hands. Rest doesn't cancel assignment, it calibrates it. From quiet, you'll speak cleaner. From being held, you'll hold others better. Let your schedule learn your soul's new pace. Dependence lived out, faith embodied. Every good thing has one source. Keep breathing that truth. Draw in presence. Breathe out suspicion. When circumstances darken, refuse the old reflex to white-knuckle control. Alignment looks like this. I will do the next faithful thing, and I will not hurry my soul. Remember the pattern of dawn. The coldest, quietest stretch often precedes first light. Hold fast there. Let your practices be small but stubborn. Scripture before screens, blessing before business, confession before conclusion. Dependence isn't infantilizing, it's intelligent design. You run best on trust. Turn ordinary acts into sacraments, washing dishes as gratitude, commuting as prayer, emails as opportunities to honor. Faith that lives in choices becomes a lighthouse others navigate by. Keep the flame trimmed. The night is not in charge. It only proves the reach of morning. Harvesting meaning from the hard. Nothing is wasted when given back. Tears become water for empathy. Delays become compost for wisdom. Losses carve room for greater love. Bring your ache to the one who authors outcomes. Say, use this, and watch it turn. You'll notice a new reflex. Less judgment, more curiosity. Less fixing, more presence. Pain taught you where people actually need companionship, at the threshold between giving up and going on. Stand there with them. Share the map you made when you were lost. Don't polish your story. Tell it true and hopeful. Victory isn't denial, it's redemption. What once diminished you now equips you. Ask, who could use what I learned the hard way? Then offer it freely. Consolation multiplies when it moves. Become a courier of comfort, delivering parcels of courage to doorsteps you once sat on. Lay down the weight, be held. The fear of losing what you love can make you clutch until your knuckles ache. Open your hands. Say, hold what I cannot. God's grip outlasts your grasp. Trade vigilance that exhausts for vigilance that trusts. When anxious thoughts rally, don't wrestle each one. Move your body, bless your day aloud, and place your concerns in a sentence. You keep me. Let peace become practical. Slower meals, deeper breaths, a bedtime that honors your limits. Strength isn't the absence of trembling. It's being upheld while you tremble. Release the storyline where you're responsible for every outcome. You are responsible for your yes, your integrity, your kindness. That is enough. Rest inside the keeper love that neither sleeps nor slips. Tonight, set your burdens down like stones and listen for the quiet river running underneath every